Hey YouTube! Now I'm intending to make this video for the universe. This video is how we're going to go about this debate between I missed Trump and Kamala together. I said Trumala. Like, for real, for real. The Trump-Harris debate is about to go on tonight. What are the signs that we should be looking for? So let's consider some of my previous videos information, right? A lot of things that Trump had in connection with Kamala and his VP select, JD Vance, right? Is that Sagittarius and Gemini energy. It was very much a connection. The one that stood out was 10 watts. Okay. So let's consider the night of the debate. The moon is in Sagittarius. Jupiter is in Gemini. Now, for a lot of scholars, y'all can find whatever information you have with your connection with the universe. I can't say what's going to come out. I don't know how you connect it. But for some of y'all scholars, y'all could go from there. Because right now we're talking about the coordinates of the moon currently, right? Eastern Standard Time anyway. We're talking about 14 degrees, 24 seconds. Okay? And we're talking about Jupiter being at 20 degrees, 2 seconds. We're in trouble. I'm going to tell you that irony up in there is because that's 2020 is around the re-election time with Trump when he got out of there. And so we got Jupiter being at 2020 and the fact that they're north node and south nodes, especially between Kamala, like I said, Trump and JD Vance. We're talking about their north and south nodes. So in the position of being a north and south node with 20 degrees and then 0.02 seconds. Perceptual wise, some people just be like blah blah blah. But for me, I could see this north node. Now another thing to consider is the fact Kamala do have some Virgo, I believe. I can't remember everybody's chart. I didn't go back in all my videos. But we're talking about Mercury right now is in Virgo at 2 degrees 21 seconds. So we got a 2 and a 3. So something is moving forward if we believe 2 comes before 3 or 3 follows 2. Now, the tricky part about this is going to be where I decide our interpretations and perceptions. The things that we already coming up to believe, like, for example, I didn't see on TikTok and stuff, some women going off talking about Kamala, you think you're going to run us, it's not happening. So for me, I'm going to have to watch out because, see, this is my reaction to these videos on So Hard. I say, okay, with Uranus being in retrograde and Jupiter haven't quite hit it, but Uranus just hit it. And Pluto just jumped over to Capricorn, so we're talking about a little bit of Earth. So when I heard the lady talking, okay, and none of her words was anyway blah blah blah. So I'm just saying my brain, when she was talking, this the blah 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 that I heard like, y'all young girls out here that's coming up in this world, oh, my man ain't going nowhere. Now you could go ahead and get the winky and all that good stuff, but right there, that money that he makes, all of that's coming to me. That's the type of person she sound like to me. Once again, we talking about that Jupiter being at 20 in Gemini, 20 degrees 0.2 seconds. So with Mercury being at 2 degrees 21 seconds, right? For me, if it's talking about moving forward, that means if we talking about which way to 2 degrees, so if I'm in the 2 seconds, which I was, you know, TikTok is a short clip place. So I'm in the 2 seconds of the Gemini influence on me, right? The blah, blah, blah. So, 2 seconds of interpreting something from separate words that's coming out of somebody's mouth, because I mean, for real, if you're talking about you're not gonna run us and have control over female body rights, I mean, those are her words. And we're talking about the sun being in Virgo right now at 18 degrees. That's a 9. And 38 seconds, that's 11. So, the tarot flips around with Libra as far as that goes, but it flips a little bit between the Hermit card, the Strength card. So, where's your patience at? Things going to be trying us, especially with Sagittarius, and we in a crescent moon. So, we headed to the full moon. Right? Now, considering also that Libra has the the south node up inside of there. So the north and the south node is stationed at 7 degrees 26 seconds. So we have an 8 and we have a 7. We have another 8 for Lilith. Lilith is at 8 degrees 8 seconds. We had a Chiron at 22 degrees 38 seconds. So you're talking about breaking down twos. We got a lot of twos that's floating around up inside of here. So you're talking about a lot of connection with the creativity. Now Mars is still in Cancer, and there go a 3. Is at 3 degrees 37 seconds. So the 21 seconds in Mercury can be implying on that. Venus is at 15 degrees 5 seconds, so freedom of speech. So, I mean, Venus being in Libra right now with the freedom of speech part of it is, and Virgo influencing Mercury. What is the concentration level going to be? So that means what Uranus is here going to retrograde at towards at 27 degrees 13 seconds, right? So Uranus sitting back. We got Pluto at Capricorn at 29 degrees 51 seconds. Where is the we have the vertex in Virgo at 5 degrees 27 seconds. And we had a Futona at 3 degrees 16 seconds. And the north and the south node is at 7. Capricorn 1549. Neptune 2847. Pluto 2951. And the odd numbers is just mastery numbers. Like it's a lot of 11s that's up in here. But primarily every 11s and 13s, those are very mastery transformative. And everything else is I mean, you have a few 5s that's up in here, but that's representing freedom. But what is really the absolute value to freedom is not one. Besides interpreting from a happiness standpoint or a social group, it's only going to come from pleasures. So the only fire sign that really emphasizes pleasure is the moon. And the moon is at 14 degrees 24 seconds. So your darkest secret, so we're in a yin and yang because it's a crescent moon at that. So even the people who don't even pay attention to the debate is going to still be there. Like all the people who's really happy, boo. Like you got different sections of relationship energy that's going to play a role. You got people who's really honestly connected and happy and just booed up. And how extensive that generational line goes determines. So you got indirect energy and direct energy that's going to be happening with a crescent moon. Because everything is not meant to be fully revealed at this time. So when it comes to this debate, basically to go ahead and sum it up, since, I didn't get into the energy and everything, because I felt like it was important this time around. When this debate begins, whether we all know how or predict how somebody talk, whether we already got our opinions on who it is, I'm going to say at the end of the day, the way the universe is lined up with this retrograde, the only thing that this debate going to satisfy, and it's honest, you really going to have to figure out how political you go to actually understand the fire and the desire into the Sagittarius moon. Especially the fact that Scorpio has the midhaven, and the midhaven is at 26 degrees, so they go at 8, so that's an infinity. And of course the IC is in Taurus, where Uranus is at. So you're talking about the crescent moon. So it goes great with the fact that Taurus Uranus just freshly went into retrograde and having the crescent moon. So that means that even Taurus energy or whatever plans was already pre-prepared. But it's going to come in very subtle. So that's what I'm saying. People interest in things of pleasure, whether, is going to be, I know it got to be some kind of Inca cuts or oppositions going on this day. Let me see. Okay. Yes. We have a Mercury concuts to Pluto. We have a Venus concuts to Saturn. We have 1, 2, 3. So that could do something with, I think Mercury is at 2 degrees, 21 seconds. So we have 2 concuts. Mercury have a concuts with Pluto, and Venus have a concuts with Saturn. We have, look like 3 oppositions. We have Saturn having an opposition to the moon. We have the moon opposition in Jupiter. And we have the North Node opposition to Lilith. So we have 3 oppositions and 2 concuxes. And Mercury in this, Mercury has a sextile with Mars, which is Cancer. It has a square with Uranus, Taurus, and that's it, besides the concuss. So the last 2 active planets is Mars and Uranus. So the water and the earth element gets along. They should. Because when we read in tarot, we resonate feminine energy with earth and water, and masculine energy with fire and air. So we seen the complementary, which one towards, Trump or whoever knows how to dive in, sees Trump past life of his feminine energy. You got Kamala feminine energy, and you have the balancing act between the VPs. So Mercury is going to do very well with protecting Uranus. Like Cancer being that shield for Uranus right now during the crescent moon. And knowing that Cancer and Gemini, let me say it this way. In between the middle of the polar opposite zodiac energy is Sagittarius and Gemini. Okay, and the only thing that's in Gemini is Jupiter. The only thing in Cancer is Mars. And the only thing in Sagittarius is the moon. So we still go back to that 3. And Mars at 3 degrees, 37 seconds. Now, the fact that that's a 10 between the three, it's an incomplete puzzle, but it resonates with one, also with the beginning, the masculine energy. So when we're walking up in this situation, no matter who's focused about it, that means the people who didn't watch the debate going to have opinions. The ones that are going to watch the debate that's going to have opinion. And you're talking about the intellectual debate that's going to get exposed among groups that, whether you want to call it, I want to use the word secret. Only reason I want to use the word secret is because I live in one state. And I know I only go but so many places. So some of these people that's having these conversations is a secret to me because I'm not going to be able to be there. I don't join a lot of social platforms and stuff. So you got social platforms that's going to have chosen ones that be selected. Like, this is going to be a very high controversy. Now, the thing about it that I believe that's going to happen after this debate, I think we're going to have a veil of like a moment of silence that's just wiped through the world in a certain kind of way. And once that veil ends, which I think is going to end in October, right before it get ramped up to start preparing for the votes to begin, mail-in ballot votes, early voting to begin. I think right before early voting, everything, the veil just going to lift up like that Taurus energy. It's almost like a whole bunch of bulls is just waiting to like have a bull run. And I think that veil going to pop up. And I think also that's around the time the full moon going to be coming up. Yeah, I think the full moon is close to the end of the month. And that's around the same time. And I think things going to get real wonky a little bit around that full moon for a reason and a purpose. So what I'm saying is, it's going to be an interesting conversation, even the responses that people are going to have after this debate. Some going to be probably far out there in advance, maybe non-related, maybe very distractive. But all of it, depending on where your role is all going to come back in. I think we're going through a contraction period right now in this debate. But honestly, all jokes aside, try to see where you drift off at. I think whoever and how many, no matter how many people or who we are, when we watch this, we're going to drift off into a state of consciousness, off in a different type of consciousness. We're going to get distracted. Even if it's a baby that just knocked over something off a table, or if it's somebody friend popping up at the house in the middle of the election. I'm just saying, we're going to have bits and pieces of interruptions during this election time. So what I did get prepared, right? I wanted to get a little confirmation. So this is, I'm using my Dragon or Dragon Realm Oracle deck. And like I said before, this is the outer physical world, okay, as it states. Okay, this is the inner and spiritual world, as it states. And this is the convergent center world, a combination of the inner and the outer world. So, I'm going to get confirmation on my intuitive interpretation of what I think this election is going to offer. So, after I have pulled these cards out, I'm going to read the little advice that comes up for these positions. And from there, you can take your interpretation and run with it yourself. But I don't know how much I'm going to look at. I could go to sleep on it. I don't know myself, but I'm going to be part of this journey. So it's good, you know, for me, it's going to be one of these ones I'm going to have to just pay attention to myself. Where am I going? When they talking, both of it, even the questions that's going to be asked. Because, yeah, all of that is going to be important. The way the questions are worded and everything. All of that. So it's going to be a high sensory with this moon energy here. For certain people, or maybe all of us who pay attention. Alright. Hey, universe. I came up here. I put the message out. Get everybody prepared for the presidential debate. You know, between the Democratic and Republican Party in the United States of America. I reside in one of those states in this country. And as I said, I know you have heard. I'd like to receive a confirmation on the energy and preparation for the Kamala Harris and Donald Trump presidential debate. May I have one card verification for the physical core? Alright, I have one that came out face down, so I'm going to be curious. May I have one card for the inner spiritual core? One card for the inner spiritual core. I love my cards. I love my cards. One card for the inner spiritual core. I need to sit up with it. Because of my shoulder. I'm going to start positioning myself different ways. The cards are big. Alright, that one came out face down. It's probably like, you about to go on off to somewhere else. Let me get this card out. Alright, well, I had a last card for confirmation on the political presidential debate going on September the 10th, 2024. The combination of energy from the outer and the inner card. Last comfort. Woo! Oh, that's a lot of y'all. I was hyped, huh? I got everybody hyped on that one, didn't I? Alright. Alright, I'm prepared now. Okay, can I have a one card? One card for the final confirmation of the energies. Let's see how we turn out. See how I turn out. I know I'm hard-headed. Hope I heard everything right. Hope I delivered it right. Alright. I got it. Alright, everybody. We're going to start with the outer. And what do we have here for outer? Can you see that? It's a little glare. You like that picture there? You like that picture? Looky there. This is it Quadra? Alright. Quadra at the outer. Let's see where we can find it at. Alright. So it says for the outer, okay? They're clear. Use some shiny cards. Ruinous dragon. Take precaution and seek shelter. Okay, hold on. I'm reading it wrong. Alright. Outer. Physical core. Upright. Potent dragon. A physical or geographic danger is a direct threat. Avoid the storm if possible or take precautions to protect yourself. In the introvert, ruinous dragon, take precaution and seek shelter. Damage can be migrated with prudent preparation. So, I can say from that card on the confirmation, it is a whole bunch of threats. Like, if we're talking about people talking about this person is at risk, this person is at risk, then yeah, you know, even if we're talking about feeding in which way the voter rights is going, who's eligible to vote, what age or demographic group, all it is part of it. Like, when you watching this, you probably feel that moment of maybe needing to be protective, be conservative in your actions, your moves, how you communicate. That might be one of the most present energies as you watch it. All right, now let's go to the inner. Okay. Who we have here for the inner? Oh, we got that little tree. See that? That is so pretty. Look at that. Is that Nick Hogger? Nick Hogger. All right. The inner spiritual core upright. Doubting dragon. Someone is questioning spiritual belief with consistent doubt. It's natural to be skeptical. Look more deeply. Inverted, grander dragon. A relentless change agent. A threat to well-being and the potential for chaos to be unleashed. Heed your instincts and avoid chaos. So, like I said, when I saw the lady on TikTok, her words didn't come out that way. But, I mean, with some of this retrograde energy that's actually going on with these planets and a karma that's really high, like, to me, she just sounds like that. I don't, it's too many laws out here in my mental mind. It's too many white collars. You got corporates, you got federal, you got state, you got local. It's so many laws, right? And within these laws, there has been so many stories that get passed down. So when you are, or whenever it might occur, consider the influences of those energies and come back to yourself and say, well, how did the future change all this time? Look at how old you are. I don't know how old you might be. I know how old I am. I use that as a guide. Like some of the short period of times of how things have changed and grew. Try to always know what you meant to be and what you meant to do as this debate happens. Like I say, stay focused. Especially when it's talking about on the upright. Someone is questioning spiritual belief with consistent doubt. Even if that means that I need a confirmation for what I'm doing, or whether it means when people say that Trump is agnostic, or what it means to use the First Amendment and separate church and state, but yet you lay your hand on the Bible and take an oath to be a president. So, the main thing that I think in this spiritual debate at the end, to me, I don't think the way it matters who becomes president matters on the environmental, physiological, and psychophysiological, let me say it this way, the psychophysiological change, it matters far as that, on how that psychophysiological change is going to impact us, and the anomaly effect that's going to happen around the world from it. Whoever the universe feels is the best candidate, to me, is going to be the one to ride. For Trump to ever make it there as a businessman and where he come from, and just growing up listening to different political views over time. And then, I guess it goes with, I don't know. The world is interesting, so I ain't gonna talk everything today to death. Okay, center, the next one. That's a pretty one. Okay. So, Layden, let's see. In the center core, Layden. Initiator dragon. As Draco, the constellation dragon, Layden watches over the seeker. The seeker is never alone. Layden inverted. Not intro, sorry. Layden inverted. In the ones, I probably said introverted then. My bad. I be running everything together. It just remember me of synonyms and antonyms. Apologize. But anyway, destroy dragon. The actions of a spiritual leader or teacher have been challenged. Do not yet judge, but keep a scrutiny eye on the situation. So with the two energies coming together, it goes all the way back to what I said. Make sure you be focused. Listen to the questions and how they being answered. Listen to the word verbiage. I mean, this is, like I said, these candidates has a nice little Sagittarius Gemini connection going on. And with the moon being in Sagittarius and the Jupiter being in Gemini, with the influence of Mercury being in Virgo, and as far as I know, that's Virgos should feel comfortable being there. As far as like talking and flowing right now, so when we looking for that spiritual connection, don't just assume like, I don't know. Look, I think the universe could speak through anybody, whether they're good and bad. Whether, no matter what color they are, what gender they are, what species they are. Your universe could speak through anybody. And it doesn't mean that person is a chosen one. It just means that's the power of the universe, at least to me. But if it means that to you, then let that be your scrutiny at the end. I mean, look, we had two cards as far as the outer. It's coming with challenging energies that's merging together to what I say. Stay focused and listen. This debate is going to give us a little bit of moment to that full moon come around. We're going to feel it. We're gonna feel the effect because everybody is not watching this debate tonight. So the rest of this little crescent moon, see, this representing, like, the universe already know, like, it's doing it on a real nice, perfect crescent moon. Really, it is. It is really nice. $85 degrees and 45 seconds. Yeah, that's a nice little crescent moon. Matter of fact, that's almost like the energy of Uranus. Uranus is at 27 degrees and 13 seconds. The 85 totals to a 13. The 45 totals to a 9. I'm just saying. It's whatever we want to pay attention to. That's just one of the things I paid attention to. Like, look at the flip side. I say things is in two. You know, Jupiter got 20 degrees, 2 seconds. So, good luck, everybody. And let's get all ready for the full moon. I don't care what zodiac sign it's in. It don't matter to me. We just need to get ready because we're going to feel the results of this. You know, the universe know who we loyal to. Bet yourself on that, no matter what name it is. Alright, talk to y'all later. Thank you for the no views. No, let me stop playing. Just thank you. It's all good.